welcome to the top of the world. We're back on the well job. Today's task is to install a cylindrical deep well submersible pump. It's been a few weeks because I've had this on order from Germany, not because I couldn't get one in Sweden, but I couldn't get the one I wanted in Sweden. So in previous episodes, and there's two on this, we removed the jet pump from the base of the well, and I tried to install a pump into the cellar to see if I could suck from this well into the cellar for the reason of ease of maintenance and operation. This is going to be a summer house. It may well turn into a permanent house, but for the minute it's a summer house, which means the owners come occasionally, sometimes at Christmas. We're in Swedish Lapland. We're in the Arctic. The winters are long and they're locked. So, where possible, if I can fit what I need into the cellar, it makes a nicer, cleaner and easier job for me when I have to make the house live and when I have to decommission it. And this can happen numerous times through the year. I do a couple of houses where I commission and decommission. If you can have everything inside the cellar, you don't have to completely decommission. You can use warm cables to prevent the freezing and the smashing apart of everything. Steel pipes, pumps, houses, tanks, everything will smash apart if you don't completely drain it. Anyway, that didn't work. And I didn't think it would work, but I wanted to try it. So now we're into a submersible pump. This way it's not subject to freezing. It's on a single line, on a single pipe with ropes attached, so I can take it out for ease of maintenance. So the first thing to do, the very first thing to do, is install this at the top of the well. This is going to hold the rope so that you can pull the pipe and the pump out. We're using a fixed 2-inch solid pipe, so you cannot just pull the pump out. The first thing you have to do is disconnect the pipe. However, these deep well submersible pumps are really heavy. You cannot have them hanging on the pipe. You can't just install the pipe and just have the pump hanging off the end. And you cannot lift them using the pipe. We have to attach rope, and I've got some clevises and stuff to attach the rope to the pump. We'll attach this first so that we've got somewhere to have the loop rope run through at the top of the well. Then what we'll do is we'll get the pump out and we'll fix the pump to the pipe. As well as installing the pump today, I also want to install all the electrics, which means we need to check out this 3-phase electric cable coming from the cellar, which is on a switch. We're going to pray that's good, because if not, we're into laying a new cable. And if that's good, then we can connect up the electrical system for the well and get the deep well pump in, get it piped and get it operational. They're my goals for the day. If then we can move into the cellar, we're on a bonus. The things that are going to slow me down right about now is it was -2, that's -2 Celsius, 31 degrees Fahrenheit overnight, first week in September. What a surprise. Am I cold? No. Are my hands cold? Yes. Do my hands go first? Yes. Just slows it up. This delay we've had in waiting for the pump to come from Germany just puts me into the season where I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be down a hole, and I don't want to be working with water. Anyway, let's get the pump installed, then we don't have to work down the well. job to do is to make the necessary connections onto the pump. So we have new rope, essential, a couple of connectors, instructions. This is the new box we're going to install in the top of the well. This is heavy. This is ridiculously heavy. And this is the new deep well submersible pump. So we have to put the connector in there for the pipe connections and these. And we're going to install these because this is what we're going to use to attach the rope to lift the pump. And the reason we're not going to put the rope through the hole is because it will cut the rope. So we'll install two of these, one on each side. Right, so firstly I'm going to install this, and we're going to go back to our horrible muck and not a modern PTFE tape, because this is going to be permanently submerged. So you can hear dogs in the background, they're hunting. So whilst all this is going on, I keep Casper locked in the cab, and he has to be locked in the cab at the moment for an additional reason, is he has once again ripped his dew claw. We're going to talk about that when he has to go to the vets, because dogs in this kind of forest and in the winter, of course the dew claws are a real big problem, and he's repeatedly torn these dew claws. And this close to the village, wouldn't be at all surprise me if they're not after the bears. There's been a lot of bears in the village this year. There's been a lot of bears. Okay, next thing to do is to tie wrap the cable to the pipe. So I have the electric cable connected to the pipe, except the last 3 feet, and I've laid the electric cable out so it doesn't snag on anything. I've got the rope doubled, which is what I wanted, and I've got the rope laid out so it doesn't snag on anything. And the most important thing is not to pick this pump up by this pipe or this cable, because the pump's way too heavy. I know it doesn't look very heavy, but it's heavy. So now we're going to hook that into the well and start lowering it down with a rope. with everything attached and feed it to the right place, we're hoping. Right, so that's everything down. Now I've got to recut the pipe to the right length and move, once I'm going to cut it, probably about 4 to 6 inches short of the bottom of the well, and then I'll pull the pump up on the rope till the pipe connects, and then I can tie the rope off. And that way the pump is not hanging from the pipe. Okay, that is the pump secure and the pipes all reconnected. Now we have to work on power. So I suppose before we connect up the box, we need to go and connect this cable at the other end, and then do the old tongue touch. See if it's got some juice in it. Well, that was reasonably involved. So the cable coming out here was a 3-phase cable. The pressure switch on the old tank is 3-phase pressure switch, and the replacement switch I put on the wall, that was also 3-phase, and I've had to change this to single phase because it's single phase supply. So I've had to go all the way back to the mains box, following the cable all the way back, to change one of the lives into a neutral. So I'm sure I've been through this before. With a 3-phase here, you've got 3 lives and an earth. 3 lives and an earth. Well, you say. So where does the neutral run? The neutral runs on the earth line. Okay, so what I've done is I've changed one of the lives onto a neutral, albeit on the buzz bar is connected to the earth. But for simplicity, let's say there's an earth, there's a neutral, and there's a live now. Even though the earth and the neutral are the same thing, I've run them separately on separate lines and connected them back to the mains box in the way that they should be. Even though in the buzz box, the neutral bar is directly connected to the earth. Forget that. So now what we have is a single phase supply setup. There's my box. So we're looking for 235 volts from live to earth. 236 volts. Right, neutral to earth, nothing. Live, neutral. 236 volts. Okay, so we now got a live supply in here. So I can now fix this to the top of the well wall here, and then wire in this side, and accordingly, because it has to be wired in a certain way, the pump. And then I can seal this off and screw it there. Then we've got power to the pump. Having power to the pump, that should get us water inside at the right pressure. And then we can go inside and start working on that. We have all that wired in. That should be live. We're just gonna test it with the meter again. Yep. So when I switch this on, right, it should work. I can hear it. Yes, we can hear it. We can't see it, we can only hear it. Okay. Now we can fix this box off to the wall. Now I need to tidy up the cables and the string. I think that's done. This time I took the liberty of bringing my big LED work lamps we made. Right, so we can already see there's splashes of water down there. So, if I've done my job right, and I've got my pump right, I should be able to turn that on and water will come gushing out with this pipe. So let's try it. There it comes. That's a lot of pressure. Right. Okay. Now what we've got to do is connect that bottom pipe back up to this and test the pressure switch and now the tank. I think we can finally shut the well up, take the ladder out, because I'm confident now we've got what we need, and anything like additional pressure switches and tanks and everything else now is going to be done from in the cellar. So well, it fell over obviously. So that's the ladder that went down to the platform where the pump was. So that was the climb, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, we can close the well up now. Easy. Just easier. With the top on, you can see the rope there and the electrical control box, easily reachable with the top on. That is now the new well pump connected back to all the existing tank, pressure switch, blow off valve. Okay, so I've got some open pipes in the house, so I need to be thoughtful about what I'm doing here and when I hear water and when I don't. So let's turn on the pump, see what happens. No, to be honest, right at the moment, nothing. Just try opening that. Like that. It would have been a really good opportunity to test this pressure switch. A lot of air. I can hear things happening, but I'm not sure what's happening. Alright, I have reconfigured this bottom set of hoses and included a second check valve there. That's a one-way valve that only allows water that way, not that way. I was concerned as the pressure started to build with the built-in check valve on the pump, so I put in another one. Also, it allows me to now be able to turn the water off there, should we keep this, and disconnect there and drain down. So I can drain down all the way using the plastic pipes and connectors. Much better way. Okay, let's put some pressure in this. Right, I've also swapped out that switch, which I don't think was working, or not in the way it should. So, let's, oh my goodness, look at the pressure coming there now. Alright, well I'm not sure this pressure switch works yet. So it's going to concern me that we have too much pressure in there before the pressure switch shuts off. Okay, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. Let's turn that off. Right, well if that don't have an effect on moving all this crap, I don't know. I don't know whether we need to take this apart and clean this out, or I do have another pressure switch. But that should have tripped by now. Okay, so I've had to force that a bit. I have, but we've got 4 bar of pressure in there. If that don't clear these pipes out, I'm pretty sure nothing will. Let's go and have a look, see what we can do. We want to now see if we've got any pressure in this building, because that's what we've not had. You've got pressure holding. Oh, pressure. Oh dear, that doesn't look very good, does it? Oh wow. Hey! Look at that. We need to clear all the muck out of the pipes now, that's what we need to do. That's definitely pressure. Oh yeah. To stay focused, because your eyes are going to be everywhere. What a mess, you could say. It's like this time of year every year because of the run into the winter. I'm trying to do so many things. Anyway, some of you will even see stuff of yours. You know, I've got customer stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Wouldn't normally show the behind the scenes stuff because I just turn up and then this miracle happens and you go, bravo Simon, bravo, fantastic, this is all, you know. So, I'm just not there with that tank. I'm going to have a go this morning. We got water everywhere we needed it, and initially the pressure is good, but the pressure coming out of that pressure tank isn't even close to the pressure I've got going into it. So, with our first experimental tank, for those who've got no idea what I'm talking about, there's 2 more in the series of the deep well. Our first problem when I was experimenting with the jet pump in the cellar was I couldn't get pressure. Now I've got so much pressure coming into that cellar, it's going to blow everything. The pressure switch isn't working. Now, in preparation for this, I brought a new pressure switch. I also brought a new 5-way outlet so that I could install. It's very small, right? But now we have a pressure switch, and we have a pressure gauge, and we have a line in and 2 lines out. One of those lines out has got to go to a pressure tank. The other line out is a direct feed into the building. We have the pressure switch to shut the pump off. So if I do away with that tank, which I'm sure is causing me the problem, this is going to go in its place. And I have a whole load, menagerie, group, collection of items that I'm going to put together to create everything that is already there, but in a much more condensed area. So we need a pressure switch, and we need a pressure gauge, we need a blow-off valve, we need a line out to a new pressure tank. And I've got to make all that work with what I've got. I've got stuff there, I've got stuff here. So I've got a collection of bits here that I think is going to work. We're going to put it all together and make a compact but operational valve and pressure system to go between the pump and the taps, faucets, bidet, toilet, bog, crapper. If you know what I mean, all of that has to be controlled. But with the pump I've now installed in the well, I have a huge amount of water and pressure coming in. It's not relating to the pipes inside the building. Are the pipes inside the building corroded? Oh yeah. Are they full of rust and muck? Oh yeah. Am I going to replumb the entire house? No. The whole point of doing this is the man that owns the house has a small budget, and he has to have that house operational and livable within that small budget. There's a much wider reason for this. This is private. This is his reasons for doing this. But this house was his mother's house and has been shut down since 1999. So I'm trying to do the impossible with an impossibly small budget. Can I do that? Yeah, I think so. But we got to do the behind the scenes. And that involves putting all these things together to make what I've got here. And that's what I'm going to do. Alright, that's the basis of where we start. Well water in, well water out. Pressure hose to pressure tank, pressure switch, pressure gauge, blow-off valve. Right, pressure switch, which I couldn't get working. It had air in it. And the blow-off valve I couldn't get working. Well, for whatever reason now, make sure that's turned off. If I switch the pump off, the pressure switch works immediately, so does the blow-off valve. See that? Immediately. Okay, so if I open up the valve now, right, that will release the pressure and the pump will come on. Shut off. It's a lot of pressure to have in the system. That is. And the pressure switch is not shutting off again. So it's very worrying. Right, what I didn't film, stupidly enough, was I put the kitchen taps on immediately they got blocked up with crap. This gives you an idea of what I'm fighting up against. And here's the argument for putting new plumbing in. All this stuff has come out of this bottom pipe in the wall. So much. The pipes are so rusted and corroded, it's hard for you to see where it's coming out from, but it's actually coming out from this one here. I don't know if I can even get this pipe out. It doesn't want to come out for some reason, even though it's not actually in there. I've got so much, there was no pressure in the kitchen, and the new tap I put on, or the old new tap I just put on, immediately blocked up. And I took the tap off and so much crap came out and so much pressure. Look at that. There's really good pressure. But it got blocked here. That is really good water pressure. So it's the pipes. So the pressure tank has got pressurised air in it, so that's working. So I thought it wasn't. And the pressure switch is working. It's crap in the pipe. Yeah, or crap in the pipes. That's why the toilet stopped working, it's blocked up with crap. Now look what's coming out of these pipes. So there's good pressure, but I may have to run a new cold water mains to the bathroom. That's what I may have to do. There we go. So that's actually a copper pipe. I'm surprised about that. But there should be a lot more pressure than that. There. I can look at that pressure coming out in the kitchen whilst coming out of the bathroom. So now I've got two problems. The first problem is the pressure switch. Now the pressure switch works, however, it comes up this long pipe. There's a blow off valve and the pressure switch is at the top. That means that any air that is in the system, right, prior to it reaching the tank, ends up underneath the pressure switch, and the air will compress and it won't activate the pressure switch. So when I undo the pressure switch here and let all the air out, there's only water, the pressure switch activates straight away. So inherently, that system there, that's a bad idea. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm not quite sure who thought of it, But if there's any air in the system at all, it goes to the top there and the air compresses and the pressure switch doesn't work. That's the first problem. The problem with the tank is the tank works, it's just not particularly efficient. But that's not the problem. The second problem is the water pipe comes up here, right, and it splits. One way goes to the kitchen, one way goes to the bathroom. And because the kitchen is a short run, which is kitchen this way, right, and then straight up there, straight to the sink. I've cleaned all that out. This one, however, comes all the way down here, travels all the way along here, and disappears the entire length of the house through the oblivion. It's so far, it's even got an echo. Right, have I got a hazmat suit? No, I haven't. Am I going in there without a full suit and a mask? No, I'm not. So we're going to fix the next problem, which is the pressure switch and the blow-off valve. I'm still not completely convinced I have to do away with this tank yet. We've got to take this tank out. But anyway, so the next issue is the pressure switch. So the pressure switch and gauge and system that I made up is laying on top of the pipe there. Right, and as you can see with my pressure switch, there is no way any air can get to it. So you're not going to have this problem with this long pipe with air being at the top. And that is a problem. And it's not just a problem for me, it must have been a problem before. And I can see it's been regularly taken off. So we're now going to install that lot in this line somewhere, which is my pressure switch and my pressure gauge and my blow-off valve. And it looks like it's installed, it's not, it's just lying on top. You see? And what's also attached to this is the line in case I need to remove this big tank here. Sorry it's so close. In case I need to remove that, I can put my pressure tank straight onto this and run a line from there to there, missing all this out. However, this line is blocked running to the bathroom. I don't really want to replumb that if I can blow it out, but I can't blow it out because this lot is not operating correctly. So we're going to install a new pressure switch, a new blow-off valve, and my pipe ready for a new pressure tank should I need it. I don't know quite how many times I have to rework that, as many times as I have to till I get it right. And there lies the argument for just whipping out all the old stuff and just putting in new. And that argument's a really good argument if you got the money. There's a very tight budget on this house, and if I can keep that tank, I will. And the reason being is a replacement tank like that is both your arms and both your legs. Right, that's just the way it is. Can I get a cheap one? I've tried. Can I get a smaller one? Yes. Will it work as well? No, but it will work. So if we find out that we cannot do anything with this tank, we'll have to get a cheaper one. Anyway, the light's bad. Sorry, that was probably a bad bit of filming. Right, let's install this pressure switch. Okay, that's the new valve, blow-off valve, pressure switch, pressure gauge, pressure switch. I've just taken off so that I can wire it up. It's up here. And I've just pressure tested it and it works. Alright, so this is my new contraption, my new manifold in place, and I'm prepared at this point to cut everything this way out. This, as I've already explained, is my line to a potential new expansion tank. This is the new switch. On the other side, the new pressure gauge and the new blow-off valve. Okay, if I've done everything right, at the moment I've got this valve switched off. So I should turn the pump on, that should immediately pressurise, and the switch should turn it off. There we go. Oh, just like that, that fast. That's how much pressure there is now coming there. And that's actually switched off at 4 bar. That's a bit high. So now if I open this valve, it should release the pressure, and the pressure release switch will re-engage power, which will reactivate the pump and the water will start running. Let's see what happens when I open up the valve. There goes the pressure. A bit more, see what it switches on at. should come on at 3 bar. It's going down, it's going down, and immediately switches off, and the pressure valve activated because it hit 5 bar. Right, let's see what happens if I open the valve more. On, there. Okay. Now this should start filling. Okay, our pressure switch works. I'm not sure if it's set a bit high or not. Well, that switches off at 4. Yeah, we've got pressure building there. Well, you don't think I just made a worthwhile addition that I should have done right in the very first place, do you? Yeah. You see, and that's what that should do. But that would never work while it's got air trapped in there. It can't get air trapped in this one. Okay, we're heading up towards 3 bar there. 3 bar there. I want that to switch off in a minute. Going past the 3 mark there, yes. I want that to switch off when it gets to 4. No. Okay, there's my little adjustable spanner. Now be careful, Simon, because there's a live electricity here. I want less, so I've got to go this way, right? Or have I got to go that way? Less. No, I can't switch that back on. Here I can. I can release pressure from here. Now I can't shut that down. Always something, isn't there? Always something. Stop. Off. Why have you got jammed open? Stop it. Really? Christ. That's interesting. It's very interesting. I'll show you this. I'm not quite sure what I've got going on here. It's because that taps won't shut off properly. It loses pressure real fast. Turn it on. There you go, that's how that works. Goes down to 3 bar. As soon as it reaches 3 bar, switches off. Switches on, switches off at 4, well 5, okay, but everything's working. But it's losing pressure because this tap is now leaking, this blow off valve, obviously. Right, we now have a pressurised system with a pressure switch that works and 2 blow off valves that are working. Not just one. Okay. That's one problem dealt with. Well, that's day 2. That's taken 2 days since we started the bottom of the well to get this far. So we have holding pressure that we can verify from 2 sources. We're verifying from there, that's sitting at 3 bar, and that's also sitting at 3 bar. So we're absolutely sure our pressure is right and it's holding. The power is switched on and the pump isn't running, which means our pressure switch has not dropped below 3 bar, which is when it's signalled to come on, and it will pump till it reaches 4 bar and it will switch off. Right, bar, PSI, PSI. Okay, I'm not even going to convert. Just take the numbers where at pressure 3 and 3 and 4 and 4, and we're not converting to PSI. Now tomorrow's task is going to have to be fully suited and masked. I'm so concerned about I'm probably going to wear a full-on gas mask to go back into the deepest, darkest depths there. And at this point, I now have 2 choices on that pipe. I can either clear that pipe or I have to replumb. I'm nowhere else with it. Let's go topside. And make sure we've still got all the pressure we needed in the kitchen. That'll lower the pressure in the tank, and then the pump will switch on. We can adjust that pressure switch, and I don't suppose anything has changed in the bathroom with this small dribble, other than the fact you can no longer see. And that's all we've got coming out to supply the bathroom, and that's not enough. So, and we can see here, right, exactly what's coming out of the pipes. And that's no use. Okay, we've advanced. Not as fast as I'd like, but we have advanced. So, I'm now complete downstairs. The pump, it will pump so much pressure into that cellar. We haven't even got to think about the pump. The pump, the well, all of that's done, closed off. And we're good up to the end of that new valve I've put in. We're still using the existing pressure tank because I'm pretty sure the tank is working based on the pressure we're getting to the kitchen. But the pipe work going to the other side of the house, we'll go down there tomorrow and we'll inspect the pipe. And if we can't make any other sense out of it, we might be into a complete replumb. And it's not that far, it's only 1 pipe going back there. We've still got all the hot water systems sorted out yet. We're still only on cold water. There is no point in trying to feed low pressure cold water upstairs to the hot water tank, because you know we're going to be in a whole world of trouble there. We don't have enough pressure. And this is not pressure coming into the cylinder, because we can see that we can hit 4 bar instantly. Where am I with 4 bar and PSI? Have I got to have a guess? If I was guessing, 4 bar 60 PSI or thereabouts. So it's been a dirty couple of days. I really don't like being down here. I don't like being down there at all. This is a bad cellar. And I'm not looking forward to going down there tomorrow, which is why I want to have a full suit, respirator, mask, the whole shebang. Something to look forward to on my Saturday morning. Yesterday was a good day because we've achieved everything we wanted down into the well. Got the right size pump, pumps the right amount of water and pumps it to a huge amount of pressure instantly. Far more than the pressure this house was designed for. So, you know, we've got more, that's the idea of the pressurised vessel, and also the shut-off valve so that we don't continue to pressurise the system. I've got no doubt with that pump down in that well, that's now pushing 60 plus metres, that could soon start blowing taps, washers, joints, other things with the pressure we can achieve here. It's just the lines, bad lines. There you go, it's a productive couple of days. Thank you all for joining me. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, consider it. Don't cost you nothing, really helps me out. You all have a great day and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.